पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Hari Om, I welcome you all to this 11th session of Kaivalyopanishad, made possible by Shri Swami Prempuri Ashram Trust under the sponsorship of Shri Daya Smriti Geeta Chintanmala, and I appreciate Trustee Shri Prakashji and also Manager Shri Bhavesh Dubeji for their technical support, and this is all with the blessings of Shri Pujya Swami Brahmalin Pratyak Bodhanji Maharaj, who was supposed to have been conducting these sessions. And today in the Kaivalyopanishad we are entering into the section of Mahavakya Bodha, Akhanda Bodha, your Atma, yourself being Akhanda Bodha Swarupa, that we need the Akhanda Bodha through the Mahavakya. What is Mahavakya? Maha, the word we are familiar with, like Mahabharata, Maharashtra. So that Maha word it means great. Vakya means sentence. Here it is not about a great sentence, it is the sentences in the Shastra, in the Vedas, which have the intent of showing the aikyata, the oneness between Jiva and Ishvara. What is the oneness between Jiva and Ishvara? The Vakyas which talk about that oneness is Mahavakya. Idanim Mahavakya Arthamaha. We have seen so far about ourselves in so many different shlokas, our Swarupa and Brahma, Swarupa Brahman, and we have seen how that is possible to be our Swarupa, all that we have been seeing. Here we are going to do Mahavakya, we are going to see the Mahavakya Artham in this shloka. Yat param brahma sarvatma vishwasyayatanam mahat sukshmat sukshmataram nityam tattvameva tvameva tat. This is the shloka. So what does it translate to? Quickly we'll see the translation in English. That which is the unconditional Brahman, Param Brahma. Param is unconditional. The self of all, Sarvatma, the great support of the universe. That which is the great support of the universe, subtler than the subtlest, subtler than the subtlest, which is, and then timeless, that alone you are, and you are that is you, and you are that. This is a translation for this shloka. See, we have been all through this several shlokas in the past, we have been appreciating the possibility of your Brahmatvam. Through the conversation, through the response Brahmaji is giving to Shri Ashvalayana Rishihi, right? So, see, when I can see several people at the same time, right? My eyes has the capacity to show me so many people at the same time. So, this possibility is there. And we are going to see how the Mahavakya ascertains that possibility. So, yat param besides unconditional, and also the Brahma Shabda can mean Veda. There are 4 different meanings for the Brahma Shabda: Veda, Dharma, Yajna, and also your Swarupa. So here Param Brahma is qualified with Param, which means this Brahma is this is non-different. This is the one which is not separate from anything else. There is nothing in the world which is separate from Brahman. So that is why it is called Sarvatma. It is Vyapaka. Brahma is Desha, Kala, Vastu, Parichinna Shunyaha. It is not separated by time or space or object. So that's why it's Vyapaka. So it's Vyapaka. That is the reason why what really matters is Brahman being Sarvatma. Yat Param Brahma Sarvatma. So what does it word Sarvatma mean? There is nothing which is the Brahma se bhinna kuch bhi nahi hai. There is a Sarvatma. Jiva ka Atma Brahma hai. The Atma of the waves is water. The Atma of the ocean is also water. Ocean is an upadhi. Waves are upadhis. Whereas the reality, the Atma of the ocean and the waves is water. Water is Vyapaka in and through all the waves. Water is a satta of all the waves and ocean and the ocean. So that is how Sarva Brahma is the Atma of every being, all beings. Sarvatma. It is Chit Swarupa. It is not like the water, inert water. We will see that. So it is Sarvatma. It is the Chinmatra Sarvatma. It is the lively, kicking consciousness awareness in all of us. Vishwasya Sarvatma Vishwasya Ayatanam. It is the Ayatana Adhisthana. Support, they say in the translation. Here support means Adhisthana. It is the Adhisthana. It is a reality. The reality of snake. The reality of a streak of water. The reality of the stick. It is all what? It is the reality of rope. The Adhisthana, the rope provides the Adhisthana for all these projections. Rope it's making possible all the projections. There is so much that can be projected on the rope, and the projector is not rope. The projector is our ignorance, right? So that way, the cause for the snake is our ignorance. That is why we didn't say the rope is causing the snake. Rope is the adhisthana. So now I think you might be able to understand, appreciate the word Vishwasya Ayatanam, Vishwasya Adhishthanam, the Jagat Tasya Adhishthanam, Brahman. Mahat. So if it has to be Adhisthana for the entire Jagat, it has to be Mahat. Space is also Mahat. But here this Mahat is for Brahman, because space is also within your perception, within the limitlessness of Brahman. Space is also within the limitlessness of Brahman. We create space in our swapna, and that space is what? Limited space or limitless space? If you want to say limited space, then it is not space. Space is limitless by its nature. Even when the scientists say the space is expanding, they only mean the space between two objects is increasing. That's all they mean. They don't mean the space is expanding into something else. Okay? So likewise, here what we said, Mahat is because it is the space of, it gives space even for space in a dream. If we do that, although the dream itself is happening in a small limited human sharira, but it is limitless. So that is the kind of limitlessness. Then what else we can say? If it is Mahat, then we may have an imagination about Brahman as it is huge and all that. No, it is Sukshmat Sukshmataram. Sukshmat Sukshmataram. It is subtler than the subtlest. Subtler than the subtlest. And Sukshmataram. And that is why even space is like that. What to talk about Brahman? Space is also subtler than the subtlest. Do you agree? How is space subtler than the subtlest? Because Even if you take even spaces, everywhere there is space. Even if it's a small atom, there is space within that atom. So space is subtler. And that which gives space to even space, which is why we saw it as Mahat, it is also subtler than even the space. Sukshmat Sukshmataram. What else? And then Nityam. It is Nityam, which means it is a Vinasha Shunyam. It doesn't have an expiry date on that. There's no expiry date on space. There's no expiry date on yourself, on Brahman. Then Tvameva, then after all this, Tvameva Tat. That Brahman, don't look around here and there, that is you. That Brahman is in reality, it's you. That Brahman is yourself. And if you don't, just to reiterate, Tvameva Tat, Tadeva Tvameva Tat. So that is what is told here so far. Now we have the responsibility of going through our Shankaranji's Tika. And let us see what our Shankaranji's Tika says. So here we go. Shankaranji's Tika. Yate prasiddham paramam utkrishtam. Yate prasiddham paramam utkrishtam brahma. Yate prasiddham paramam utkrishtam brahma brihate. So yet that which is prasiddham, which we have seen so far, and which is also not entirely unknown to us. It is not a totally unknown tattvam. Our Brahmatvam is not totally unknown. We have been presented the model of Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, Avastha, and we have been shown that how we are there in the all three avasthas without any vyavadhana. We wake up and say, it was me who dreamt, it was me who slept well, right? That me. It is so that way it is the parichinna of avastha. The avastha itself is parichinna. What is available in Jagrata avastha is not available in Swapna avastha. The water in the Jagrata avastha is not going to quench your thirst in Swapna avastha. The money in Swapna avastha is not going to make you rich in your Jagrata avastha, right? And none of these have their entry in the Sushupti avastha. So, but yourself, you have entry in all three avasthas. You are Brahman in that way. You are avasthatraya atitaha. You are avasthatraya atitaha, right? So that way is special. Okay, now Prapancham. Then what else? Desha Kala Vastu Paricheda Shunyam. This is Brahman, which is Desha Kala Vastu Paricheda Shunyam. It is also Vastu Paricheda Shunyam. Desha Kala we appreciate. Vastutaha also Brahma ka bhinna kuch aur kuch nahi hai. That kind of a parichinnata, shunyata is there. Sarva Atma. So sarva prani sthita hai. So it is sthita. It is in all the pranis. Sarvatma. Sarva prani sthita hai. So when I say sthita hai, is it seated inside? Is the prani is deha, or the prani is hridaya, antakarana? Is it the ashraya for Brahman? Sarva ananya hai. Nothing is separate from Brahman. That kind of a sarvatma. Nothing is separate from Brahman. There is no separation from Brahman of anything. There is no separation of the pot, spoon, plate, all made of clay. There is no separation of these clay objects from clay. That kind of a non-separation. Sarva, that kind of a non-separation is there. Vishwasya sarvasya karya karana jagatah. Karya, so the Vishwasya word would mean karya karana jagatah. Jagatah. Jagate, which is karya and karana. which comprises of karya and karana, cause and effects. Everything in the world, everything what you experience in this world as objects is all what? Is it all cause or effect? It is all effect, but it is got its own. It's all effect because they all have their own cause, and even the cause is because of some other cause. So likewise, we can just keep on saying everything is because. The whole world is because. So karya karana jagataha, yeah, ayatanam. It is the address. Brahman is the ashraya, adhisthana, adhikarana. It is the residence of the entire Srishti, Vishwasya. Adhara bhutam. It is in the nature of adhara, adhisthana. And then the shloka says it's mahat. Mahat is what? It's a prauda vacha. Mahat, don't imagine something big and huge and whatnot. It is sarva adharatvena mahat. Sarva adharatvena mahat. Sarva adharatvena mahat. Sukshmat. So sarva as an adhara of everything, mahat. So if we can project 5 objects on the rope, and then later on if we can project 25 objects on the rope, how much the rope's mahatta has increased. Our ignorance has increased. The mahatta as rope is the same. Adhara rupena it is mahat. That's all it is, right? Sukshmat, so anuparimanat sukshmataram. So sukshmat is anuparimanat sukshmataram. Please remember, it is anuparimanat sukshma in the sense it is not mahat in terms of huge, because it is also the subtler than the subtlest, and it is subtler than space. Space is at once mahat, space is at once subtle. Likewise, yourself, you are subtler than that space also. You give space to the space. So that way you are mahat, than the space. And you are the perceiver of space. The subtler perceives what is more gross. Right? What is subtle perceives the gross. Like the indriyas are subtler than the sense objects. The indriyas are subtler than the sense objects. And that is why you are able to, the indriyas are subtler than the sense objects. That is why the indriyas are able to perceive the sense objects. Right? So that is the perception we are talking about. The indriyas are subtler than the sense objects. And yourself, you are perceiving the space also. So that way you are subtler than the space. Sukshmat sukshmataram. Mahate api atishayena anuhu. There is no comparison. Incomparably, you are subtle. Nityam, vinasha shunyam. There is no expiry date. There is no, you are deathless. So you don't travel from death to death. It is your body which travels from death to death. Your antakarana travels from one pralaya to other pralaya. And in between the pralaya, it travels to all the lokas. Yourself, you are deathless. Vinasha shunyam. Yad taduktam param brahma tvameva tate. You are ever born. You are ever there. Tvameva tate. That brahma tvameva. So we are not talking about something different from you. Tvameva tate. Avaganta. So what is that? What is that tvam? That tvam, that you are the knower, avaganta, the one who is understanding this shastra right now, Kaivalyopanishad, that you, sakshitvena, you are shining the vritti in your antakarana. As and when you listen, the mind is taking the form of the right thoughts, and you are shining the mind as sakshi and saying, I know, I understand, I need more clarity. This, now I understand all the sins, because you are the Sakshi. Acha. Nanu, there's a nanu. Nanu means there's a question there. There's an objection raised because it is very hard. This is what objection. What is the objection raised? Objection raised is, how is that? Nanu tana mattaha anyat. That Brahman, it's different from it. Tan mattaha anyat. That is one thing. And then the mattaha anyat. And aham tasmat anya. I am different from that. Because why am I different? Because kartritvadi vishesha upalambhat ityatha. I am what? I am this karta, I am this bhokta. I can only see myself as that. So that way, that Brahmatvam cannot be me. Then for that the answer is Tvameva tat. The last word, 2 words in that sloka, Tvameva tat, because Tvam karta bhokta avidyaya vastutaha avidyaya. You be taking yourself to be karta bhokta is because of your avidya. Your parichinnata, you are taking yourself to be Mr. Limited, Mr. So and so Limited. A company can be limited company, but yourself taking yourself to be only this much is because of your avidya. Vastutaha, in reality, there is no substance in yourself taking yourself to be just a karta bhokta. It can be shown that it is because of avidya. Vastutaha, in reality, param brahmaiva tvam. You are brahmaiva natu anyaha. You are, by nature, you are limitless. Your swarupa is limitless. Ananda, paramananda, chidrupa, chidrupa brahmaiva. So this is the shloka. Now, what is the next shloka? So, idanim evam jnane phalamaha. What is the phala? Having known like this, evam jnane, what is the phalam of this jnana? Jnana is there. So what is the phalam of knowing? That jnanam is presented, but what is the phalam of knowing this jnana? That is presented in the next shloka. Jagrat swapna sushuptyadi prapancham yat prakashate tad brahmahamiti jnatva sarvabandhai pramuchyate pramuchyate. So you are free from the sense of bondage which you have been suffering because of ignorance, and that is because of you knowing. Jnatva. What did you know? Tad Brahma aham asmi iti. Knowing, and knowing is, you may say, I already know, or I have been listening to this all the time. This is not the first time I am listening. I always feel that I have understood this. Then what is more in my knowing? What is lacking in my knowing? So samshaya, viparyaya, shunya knowing. The samshaya, all the doubts has to be resolved. All the viparita bhava of taking yourself, habitual errors we make of taking ourselves to be deha, habitual errors we make because of taking ourselves to be the deha, habitually, mechanically and all that has to be resolved, and this knowledge has to be dhrida, firm. We'll see all that. So then, and jagrat swapna sushuptyadi prapancham yat prakashate. So this Brahmasmi, aham Brahma, tad Brahma aham asmi, that Brahma which is the prakashya, it is a prakashaka, which is here in this shloka. Brahma is presented as a prakashaka of jagrat swapna sushuptyadi prapancham. All the world and its objects, Brahma being limitless, Chit Swarupa, it is illumining the entire waking world, what we experience. It is not different from the light of a consciousness which is enlightening the objects in the Sushupti. Dream, Swapna. And Sushupti also, that Ananda is nothing but That Ananda we are experiencing in Sushupti is also because of Brahmanandam. Right? Because of Brahmanandam, because as we saw, any vritti, the Sukha vritti becomes our experience of Sukha only when that vritti in the Antakarana is shown, it is revealed by the self-revealing Sakshi, right? Sakshi Brahman. So that way, that Prakashaka is the reason why we are experiencing all the three worlds. Jagrat Swapna, now we are looking into that. Quickly look into the translation. I am that Brahman which illumines the realms like waking, dream and deep sleep. Knowing this, one is released from all bondage. Right? So now here, the next thing is our Anandagiri, our Shankaranaji's Tika. Shankaranaji's Tika is what? Jagrat Swapna Sushuptyadi Prapancham. Jagrat Swapna Sushuptayaha Uktaha, that has been told. Tadadayaha, and then that being told, Vishwa Viradadayaha, Jagrat Swapna Sushuptyadi Tadadayaha. The Adi Shabda is for not only just the Jagrat Swapna Sushupti, you also can include the Vishwa, Virat Adayaha, all the experiencer. The Prapancha is not a small word, it's a word which includes all the experiences and also the experiencer. Those are all put together is a Prapancha. Eva, te eva Prapancha, Jagrat Swapna Sushuptyadi Prapancha, tam. That is a Prapancha. Tam. So that is a Prapancha. Jagrat tam. So this Prapancha word, the Prapancha, the Panchi Vistare, Panchi Vistare, from that Dhatu, the Pancha and Prapancha Prakarshena Vistaraha, that is the translation, that is the Sanskrit meaning of the word, that is the Vyutpatti of the word Prapancha, that is the origin of the word Prapancha, and it includes everything. Yat prasiddham swayam prakashate prakashayati. Yat prasiddham, yat is prasiddham, whatever has been told, prakashate. What is familiar? What is familiar as as a Brahman, as our own Antakarana, as our own Swarupa, which we all have been understanding in so many different words, and which is not totally unknown also. This is not totally unknown to us, right? Because you cannot be totally unknown to yourself, and that is why even when there is no light, nothing in the room, and someone asks, "Are you there?" You say you are. Even if you're hurt, even if someone has lost a limb, you would still say, I am, right, in the dark room. So what I'm trying to say is, you're not totally unknown to you. Yat prasiddham swayam prakashate prakashayati tad ukta. So that is the one which is, that Brahman is the one which is illumining all the Jagrat Swapna Sushupti Prapancha. Then taduktam swayam prakasham brahma tat satya jnanadi lakshanam. Aham brahma satya jnanadi lakshanam. This Brahma is satya jnanadi lakshanam. Satya jnanadi lakshanam. That we, just to reiterate, right? We have been seeing that Brahma is Satchidananda Swarupa. That Yaham Brahma Avaganta. Avaganta is you. The Avagantra is the one who knows, and that is you, Avaganta. Avaganta. Chidananda, Chidananda Atma. Atma, your Atma or your Swarupa is Chit and Ananda Swarupa. Just like the Swarupa of Atma of the waves and the ocean is all water. The waves and the Prapancha here includes all your experiences. So you are the Swarupa of all the entire Prapancha. Chit Anandatma iti anena prakarena Jnatva. Jnatva is what? Sakshat Kritva. Iti anena prakarena Jnatva. So Jnatva word is important because we all have confusion regarding what is knowing. What is knowing? Knowing, is it knowing as an object or experiencing in meditation? Is that what is knowing here? Is it dhyatva? No, it's jnatva. So what is this knowing? We need to know. So this knowing is knowing without any. That is what is given here. Jnatva sakshat kritva. What is sakshat kritva? Sakshat kritva is samshaya viparyaya shunya jnanam. Shunyena jnatva. So the knowing which is clear from all doubts, that knowing which is clear from all doubts and all the wrong notions and all the errors, error free, and also that which does not go back. It is a vision which has no going back. In the sense, we should not go, it's a vision free of our habitual pattern of errors, of taking ourselves to be just a deha. That is the knowing which is told here. Jnatva. And it is, some people say, I know, but I am not able to enjoy that fruit of knowing. That is because they say it is adrida jnana. Adrida jnana. Jnana is not drida. So how will I increase the dridata of this jnana? The dridata of this jnana increases by shravana. Pavana punyana shravana. And it is like the kamba jnaya. Stanu, kamba jnaya. You shake the kamba and make sure it is even more firmly established. And after you establish firmly, then you again shake and make sure it is firmly established. That kind of a kamba jnana you established. Sometimes they say it is sapratibandha jnanam. Your jnana is having the pratibandha. What is the pratibandha? Your antakarana is not ready. It is not prepared. When I say not ready, don't think it is impure, it is not clean and all that. And that will all lead to some vagueness in addressing the problem. So here, sapratibandhaka is, your mind needs more preparation in terms of shamadamadi, in terms of vairagya, in terms of viveka, in terms of mumukshutva. Right now, it is just one in the list. Our mumukshutvam is one among the several items in the list. It has, once it gets the top priority with some vairagya, with some experiences in life, with some maturity, then the sapradibandhaka jnanam, the same tattvamasi explanation, the same mahavakya bodha will give the right spurana where you own up that knowledge of yourself being Brahman. So that is a sakshat kritva. Sarvabandhaihi Nikhila bandhaihi aham mamadhyaihi cha sakaranaihi. Sarvabandhaihi is Nikhila bandhaihi aham mamadhyaihi. So is the ahankara, taking yourself, ahankara, ego and all is different. That ahankara is just taking yourself to be just the body, just the antakarana is ahankara, and then aham buddhi, and aham deha mein aham buddhi. The aham buddhi, I, the I-ness is not in your highness, it is in your body. So that is aham buddhi, and aham and then mama. So once you say this is I am this much only, then this becomes mine, that becomes mine, this cell phone is mine, that is not, that is this cell phone, I am better, and my children are better than your children. So mamakara will be there. Mamakara will be there. Then there's all. What is the karana for all this ahankara and mamakara? If it is some good reason why you are saying these are my children, just to take care of them, that's fine. That's being very practical. If you want to say this is my body just so that you take a bath every day, that is fine. That ahankara is little, that is fine. But here, The ahankara, mamakara which we are addressing, it is the cause for your shoka moha, and it is because of moha you are taking yourself to be aham, only this much, and it is leading to shoka, dukkha and whatnot. So those are the karyas, and there is so much karanas in terms of your ignorance. Sakaranaihi pramuchyate prakarshena muktaha bhavati. Pramuchyate is prakarshena muktaha bhavati. Muktaha bhavati means what? Do you become mukta? You are already mukta. You are is the praptasya praptihi. What is already there, you are accomplishing what is already there. The poor man is coming to know that he has been always that rich. He has been always richer than the man right across than the man who's owning the mansion. Once he knows that he actually inherits a lot of wealth from his original parents. Likewise. So that is the praptasya praptihi, that is you, that kind of a muktaha bhavati. After this, what is the next sloka? Idanim sarvasmat prapanchat vailakshanyamaha. See, this teaching is continuing. What is the continuation? And after the phala also, a part of the phala is to have the knowledge of the vilakshanata, of the viparita lakshanata, of the uniqueness of the of Brahman, of the unaffected untaintedness of all auspiciousness in spite of amangala, in front of whatever amangala that can be around. This kind of a vilakshana. It cannot be the sparsha is not possible. The sparsha of dosha is not possible. There is no dosha, no defects can touch that kind of vilakshanata. We'll see in this sloka. Trishu dhamasu yad bhogyam bhokta bhogascha yad bhavet tebhya vilakshana sakshi Chinmatroham Sadashivaha. Trishu Dhamasu. What is the three dhama? What in the three dhamas? What does dhama mean? Sthaneshu. On all the sthanas, three sthanas. Trishu Dhameshu, sthaneshu. Yat prasiddham. Trishu Dhamasu yad bhogyam. So in all the three dhama means three avasthas. Sthanas is Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti avastha. In all these three avastha, all the familiar, all that we know as bhogyam, all that we know as fit for our enjoyment, bhogyam, stula, pravik, bhogyam, and then the bhogyam is not bhogyam without the bhokta. The bhokta, all the experiencer. The experiencer of the objects in the waking world and the dream world and the deep sleep, that experiencers, because the plural is because of all the different names you can take, right? Experiencer of that and this and not, worker, doer, sleeper, and dreamer, Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, and so many names is there. So those experiencers, bhogascha, bhogaha, all the results of all the experience, or all the cause for all the experience. Either you can take bhogaha cha, yad bhavete, whatever is there in these three worlds of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Tebhyaha, from all that. Tebhyaha is from all that. Vilakshanaha, tebhyaha vilakshanaha. Vilakshana is entirely different. This, unlike Brahman is unlike anything else in this world. Your Swarupa is unlike anything else in the world. You are all, we are in the Prakashaka Koti, not the Prakashya Koti. We are in the Drik Koti, not in the Drishya Koti. That kind of Vilakshanata. Whatever it may be, the Dhamas can include all the Parandhama, all the heavens. But even all the heavens, would you put in the Drik Koti or Drishya Koti? They'll all be in the Drishya Koti along with all the other objects which are already there in the Drishya Koti. And you are in the Drik Koti. So your Vilakshana, your Vilakshanata is all from you. One may argue. The Vilakshanata is, what is the problem with the Drishya Koti? Drishya Koti, there is no problem. And whether there is problem or no problem, you are Vilakshana. You are Drika. That way you are different. And in the Drishya Koti, there may be pleasant experiences and unpleasant experiences also. But the freedom is only when you are Vilakshana. You can freely, you can have the sense of freedom from all the bondage only if you are Vilakshana, and that luckily happens to be your Swarupa. Okay? We are talking about that Mukti. We are not talking about all the Artha, Kama, pleasures. Those are not our goals anymore. Okay? So here we will have to quickly look into the Tika. Or before that we will look into the translation. I am distinct from whatever it is, that distinctness, that is the right word, distinctness. I am distinct from whatever it is that constitutes the enjoyed, the enjoyer and the enjoyment in the three states. I am the witness, pure consciousness, ever auspicious. That is me. Trishu, Jagrate, Swapna, Sushuptishu, Dhamasu, Sthaneshu, Yat Prasiddham, Bhogyam, all that familiar Bhogyas. Stula Bhogyam. In the Stula world, all the Bhogyas are in the Stula form. Pravivikta, so in the Swapnavastha, Pravivikta, Vivikta Bhogam. Anandam, in the Sushuptyavastha, Ananda Bhogam. Bhogyam, Ananda is the Bhogyam. Ananda is what? Which is fit for enjoyment. And Bhokta, so who are all the Bhoktas? The enjoyer, the dreamer, the deep sleeper, the waker, Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, all these names given to a certain when there is a certain kind of experience to the individual. Bhogascha, Bhoga, what is a Bhoga? Stula, Pravivikta, Ananda Bhogaha. So Bhoga in the sloka will be Stula, Pravivikta, Ananda Bhogaha. But here we can take the karyas such as Sukha and Dukkha, Mana, Apamana, whatnot. Cha Shabdate, Adi Daivadi Vibhagaha api. So Cha Shabdate, you can, the Chakara is there in the shloka, which means you can also include at the cosmic level, not just as the individual level, but at the cosmic level also, the gross, subtle, and the Karana, causal. The gross Prapancha, the huge gross Prapancha and its Abhimani, who is that? Who is that? Virat or Vaishvanara. And then the subtle, and then the subtler world of all the minds is the Sukshma, the Abhimani of the Samashti, Sukshma Sharira is Hiranyagarbha. So you can include all of them in the Dhamasu, in the three Dhamas, including the other Dhamas also, as I listed, Vaikuntha, Goloka, Shivaloka, and all those Dhams you can include. It is all included here. Bhogapi, Yatoktam, Tridhama, Bhogyadi, Prapancha Jatam, Bhavete, Syate, Spashtam. That is all clear. The first line in the shloka is very clear. Trishudhamas yad bhogyam, bhokta bhogasya yad bhavet. That much is clear. And then what is the next part? Tebhyaha, from all of these, Tridhamadibhyaha. Tebhyaha means Tridhamadibhyaha, all that we have seen. Vilakshanaha. From all this, Vilakshanaha, Viparita Lakshanaha. Vilakshanaha does not mean Vividha Lakshanaha or Vishesha Lakshanaha. Vilakshanaha here is what? viparita lakshanaha. The dhrika, the sphere, however you try, you cannot put him in the category of the seen. If you put the sphere in the category of seen, then that sphere who is able to put the other sphere into the seen category is the real seer we are talking about. He is the one who is of the vilakshana swabhava. He is the one who is having the vilakshana swabhava, distinctness. However, how many different types of snakes you might see on the rope. You might see different types of sticks and different types of shininess and waterness and whatnot on the rope. The rope is distinct, it is unique and distinct from all that which can be superimposed on the rope, right? So it is distinct. Thank God the Vilakshanata is there. That is why you are asangaha, and you cannot be tainted, you cannot be painted. Your pragadvesha cannot paint you. Your ragadi malinata cannot give malinata to you in reality. You just have to know your reality. So let us keep reading here. Viparita lakshanaha vailakshanyam aha. What is the vailakshanya in the words of this, our tikakara? Sakshi, that is enough. So when you say your vilakshana, you don't have to mentally try to separate yourself from everything and all that. This kind of an isolation doesn't work. People, when you say vilakshana, consciousness is, awareness is vilakshana, they will try to create a kind of a isolated philosophy. They try to isolate consciousness from everything. They try to negate everything. They try to negate even Ishvara. So this vilakshanata, thank God it's your swarupa. It is your swarupa as sakshi. That is all it is. And but I don't see the brahmatvam of my sakshi, because I am a sakshi of my antakarana. There is some other sakshi of someone else's antakarana. And but the sakshitvam, the antakarana's vrittis don't taint the sakshi, the sakshitvam of the sakshi, right? So that kind of a vilakshanata you are. So if the antakarana's vrittis don't taint the sakshitvam of sakshi, that is why the sakshi is able to biaslessly enlighten all the vrittis. Then that sakshi, which is biasless, which is untainted by the antakarana, and if it is your sakshi or my sakshi, what is the difference between these two sakshis? You tell me, right? So is the antakarana, if the sakshi is like the spatika, where you put on the back of the spatika an yellow cloth, and the spatika looks yellow, and the spatika is yellow, and then you put some other color, and how far the spatika is able to reflect all the different colors. The spatika is able to show all the colors because it itself is spatika, crystal clear. It is free from the other colors, taint free, right? So that is the brahmata of the sakshitvam. So sakshi is swa adhyastasya vishwasya drashta. It is a drashta for everything. You superimpose everything on the snake, on the rope. You make so many items out of the pot, out of the clay. So all that, you make the entire world of gold, diamond necklace and whatnot from gold. So likewise the sakshi is the drishta. It is a drashta. Then it is chinmatra. It is only of the nature of self-revealing chit. Chinmatra, matra chideka rasaha. Chinmatra is in the shloka, right? Chinmatra chideka rasaha. Chideka rasaha. So it is a chin matra in the sense there is nothing other than Chaitanya. It is pure consciousness, they say in English. And so it is pure consciousness in the sense the knowledge, it is not about the consciousness like the antakarana's vritti consciousness. It is a pure consciousness because of which all that we experience get their status as experienced. Okay, so pure consciousness is not a great word. It is consciousness. It is your swarupa. It is your nature. Aham pratyaya vyavahara yogya. In translation, we can use pure consciousness, but here we have to explain what it is. That's what I meant. Aham pratyaya vyavahara yogya. So that is the one. Your chinmatra swarupam sakshi is the one which says aham janami, aham pashyami. The pramata says aham pashyami when he sees, but for the pramata to say aham pashyami, the sakshi has to shine the vritti, and the sakshi is the one which is saying. But the sakshi, after it reveals the object in the antakarana, antakarana is the one which gives the output of I being able to say I see. So that is why we say pramata. Sakshi, everything is sakshi bhasya. Aham pratyaya vyavahara yogya. That is sakshi bhasya. And then what is the one? Yogya. Sada Shiva. So Shiva word would mean Kalyanam Mangalam. So that is Sada Shiva. Our Sakshi is Sada Shiva in the sense it is also untainted. Kaivalyatma Nitya Kalyana Rupa. There is no Amangala. Amangalata of the vritti. Vritti can be anything. Good vritti, bad vritti. But that doesn't taint the Sakshi. Just like Bhagavan Sri Shiva, Bhagavan Parameshwara is untainted. He may be sitting in the smasana, but at the same time he is not affected. He may be the Margadarshi for the sake of all the jivas who are going to another world, but he himself he is sitting there untainted. That is Shiva, who is always of the nature of Mangala Kalyana. He would also give Mangalam Kalyana to all of us. So this is what I would like to say in this session, and continue in the next session with the next shloka, which is shloka 22. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I would like to continue saying about Brahmalin Swami Pratikbodhanji Maharaj. Brahmalin Swami Pratikbodhanji Maharaj, when he was on the last day, when he dropped his body, Swamiji, it was an anniversary in the ashrama, and Swamiji wanted to had tickets to come to India on that Tuesday. So Swamiji left his sharira on a Sunday, September 20th, and 22nd, for September 22nd he had the tickets for India. So this only shows that our Swamiji, I was always thinking, why would Swamiji drop his body and make it unavailable for us of his divine form, divine compassionate form, all knowledge form with which he was teaching me so many things, he was guiding me. And I would only say that Swamiji did not want to live. It happened. And it happened, anayasena it happened. That is what I am trying to say. Swamiji took the name of Bhagavan, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, before he left. And then it was also there with all the devotees around him. There were several devotees sitting. I was also there right from the beginning. And there was one more person. And quickly some doctors came. And quickly the ambulance came, and by the time the ambulance came, it was already 5, 7, 10 people there in the room, all chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. Swamiji was sitting, he was very conscious, he was looking at all of us, and we never expected this to happen. And Swamiji used to teach everybody, Anayasena Maranam Vinadainyena Jivanam Dehi Me Kripaya Shambho Tvayi Bhaktima Chanchalam. This is Swamiji's teaching for all of us. And he used to give this shloka to everybody. I used to wonder why he would ask everybody to chant this shloka. But here on that day, I saw a Mahatma leaving his sharira, dropping his sharira without any ayasa. Anayasena Maranam. It was totally effortlessly Swamiji dropped his body. So Swamiji used to say, Swami Maharaj Shri, Akhandanji Maharaj Shri, when he left also, he would tell Swamiji that be here, be around, and see how a Mahatma drops his body. That is exactly Swamiji showed me and many of his devotees to have devotees around you when you are leaving the body, to be in a seated position, to be very conscious, to be aware, to take Bhagavan's name, to be calm, to be calm. It is all not easy. And Swamiji showed all of those qualities before he left his body. This is something I want to share. I wanted to share the last several days because I didn't get the time. Today I thought I will also include this. So Swamiji is the Anayasena Maranam Vina Dainyena Jivanam Dehi Me Kripaya Shambho Toyi Bhakti Machanchalam. This was his prayer. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Mahaganapati Namaha.